Welcome everybody to episode 23 of the Take Game Gamescast. I'm your host, the Microsoft/PC expert, Scott Mills, and I'm joined on my left by Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert.
What's up, guys?
And I've got on my right the Nintendo expert, the expert of a little bit of everything. He's also an expert in news, Eric King.
Episode 23, LeBron James.
That's right.
Strive for greatness.
That's right. Hopefully this video does better than the last two.
Yes. We're going to break Jerod's record of 133 views, I think he said.
130.
130 views. We've got a new special guest, my brother, Shawn Mills.
Thank you.
Welcome, Shawn.
I just want to say, for the record, I'm only here to break Jerod's view count.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
it's a
calling
challenge.
it out right now.
I like this.
Yeah,
Let's
right now.
Review count.
Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up.
That's right. Very cool. I'm all for that. So, welcome. So you've been watching most of our videos.
Yes, I think I've seen every regular Gamecast.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
That's pretty awesome. And you're a pharmacist.
I am, yes.
In real life.
Yes.
So, I'm just wondering, do you tell all of your pharmacy patients to subscribe to Take Game Games when they check out?
I don't, because I'm not allowed to promote other businesses when
Oh,
I'm
darn
working,
it.
because that's illegal. But if I could, I would highly recommend
Yeah,
this podcast.
yeah.
I do think you guys are doing a great job,
That's
so
awesome.
I'm excited.
Man,
to
it's
be
kind of
here.
like a confidence boost. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Let's go.
Yes.
What else gotta say about us, Shawn? What else?
So, gaming. You have a PS4, a
Yes.
Nintendo Switch,
Yes.
and you play PC games.
Yes.
So those are your three main consoles
Yes.
that you play.
Everything except for Xbox, yeah.
Yeah.
My
everything
man.
I've been interested in. Pretty
I like him already. I like
between
him
those
already.
groups. But yeah, recently I've been playing. I started back in January. I had this crazy idea, and it's kind of not totally worked out. I started playing Witcher 3 and Red Dead 2 at the same time. I started on the exact same day. I knew what I was getting into. I knew they're both huge games, huge open world games. I haven't gotten burned out on either one yet.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I really love story-driven games, and the story in both those is really, really gripping and engaging.
Yeah.
I just got to Chapter 5 in Red Dead, and the
Okay.
way that game flips in Chapter 5
Cool.
really, really impressed me.
Okay.
So I'm excited to keep going with it. I'm not as far in Witcher, and the story isn't as great in that, but I really love like the moment-to-moment gameplay.
Yeah.
And like the weird little side quests that you can go down.
Yeah,
So
that's what you were telling me. Each side
Yes.
quest is like its own like huge like monster hunt.
Yes,
Thing, which is
exactly.
pretty
That game I enjoy more just when I'm looking to blow off some steam, just log in, just kind of cruise around the world. Red Dead, I'm the exact opposite. I just mainline through the story.
Yeah.
Because the side stuff in that just completely uninterests me. I could care less about hunting animals or getting
Yeah.
skins.
Yeah. Eric was pretty similar when
Yeah,
you played Red Dead.
I've already beat Red Dead, and then Witcher I've played quite a bit of, but like you were saying, good thing about Witcher is like those side quests, you could hardly even tell that they're side quests. Like,
Oh yeah, they
The
feel like
difference between
main
the main
story
quest,
missions in
yeah,
other
exactly.
games.
So-
Yeah.
Now,
you don't
did,
see too many games like that nowadays.
did you grow up, like Scott had an Xbox growing up, like, well, when he was a little
Well,
older, not when you were
pretty
growing
sure.
up, but...
Yeah, we grew
we're
up
in
in
the
the
same
same
house.
Right,
house,
right.
so-
Well, so what I'm saying is, like, did you have your own Xbox? Or what was, like, your console like when you got to, like, I guess, middle school, high school?
No, we growing up we had a Sega Genesis, so we put a lot of time into Sonic and like different Genesis games. Like that was our main thing. We got an original Xbox. We played a ton of Halo 2 on that. Those were really our two main games growing up. I really enjoyed point-and-click adventure games.
Okay.
So I played a ton of those. Like that kind of like story-driven experience. That was the only way to get that.
Like Grim Fandango.
Yes, Grim Fandango I
And,
love. Monkey Island I love.
Yeah. King's Quest.
The
which
King's
I
Quest
did,
games, which Scott did. We both played
Day
a
of
lot
the Tentacle,
of those.
did
Day of the Tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect game in my
So
mind.
then, my follow-up to that is, so what made you decide to get a PlayStation 4? Because you mentioned that you enjoyed story-driven games and more narrative games.
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to get a PlayStation 4?
You see my shirt?
for Spider-Man.
This is the reason
So
why. It was
Spider-Man.
100%
It's
for
the
So
same-
Spider-Man.
because Scott
Yeah.
got
Yes.
PS4 for Spider-Man
Yes.
2, so Spider-Man was kind of the one that really catapulted
That-
you
yes.
to get it too.
There were several games. I mean, Spider-Man, God of War, Bloodborne were the 3 big titles that you can only get on PlayStation.
Right, exactly.
And I really was interested in all 3. So that kind of cemented it. I just picked up a PS4 for the first time last year because I finally had some free time last summer, and I was kind of like, I really want to check these out. So I played through both God of War and Spider-Man, and I haven't checked out Bloodborne yet.
You should.
So
I got the Platinum Trophy in Bloodborne, and it's one of the best games this
Have
generation.
you played any Naughty Dog games yet?
no,
Uncharted
I
or-
did get, there was like a PlayStation sale for all the Uncharted games, so I just bought them all.
Oh,
I think
the
I got
Nathan Drake
all of them for
collection.
like $20 or
Yeah,
something.
that's what we did too.
It took me a while before I actually got into them and played them, but yeah, once you start playing them, you're gonna get hooked. So
Yeah.
I would just like hold out until you're like
Can't
done with Witcher and
Yes,
Red Dead before
yes.
you even
Yeah,
start
that's,
those,
I
so.
mean, you're a busy man, you're married and everything, so your time is precious. So whenever you get into the mood to play the Uncharted games, like playing back to back to back, like,
Yeah.
because you will want
Uncharted
to.
2 was great.
Yeah,
That's
Uncharted
fun.
1 is still kind of like, it's a first game, but it shows its age, even though it's been like, remastered.
Yeah.
But once you get to Uncharted 2 and going on, it's such a great series, and you won't be disappointed, especially since you like story games.
Yeah.
So, that's exciting for sure. That's cool.
Yeah, and then The Last of Us too. You'll have to check out sometime too.
Yes, that's another one. I don't own that, but that's on my bucket list
Yeah.
of like games I really want to
Yeah,
check
'cause
out.
that's an awesome story.
Yeah,
at
you
some
get
point.
that game for cheap too.
Yeah.
So.
And I have it on physical, so if you want to have it and then give it to Scott when you're done or whatever,
Wait,
I offer that to you.
I have a question for you actually.
Okay.
Since I'm coming kind of to a close with Red Dead, I'm thinking I actually want to check out a From Software game next. But do you think it would be better to try Bloodborne next or Sekiro?
So for me, I really enjoyed Bloodborne more than Sekiro because I never really got into the Sekiro combat. It's like, so do you have any experience with any Dark Souls games?
I played all 3. Of
Oh, you played all 3 of them? So Bloodborne is kind of the same thing, but just in terms of it's a quicker, more aggressive game. You don't have a shield, you have a gun instead to make your parries and stuff instead of a shield. I would say for you, you have to check out Bloodborne. I think you can maybe skip Sekiro, but you should check out Bloodborne because it's one of the best games on the PlayStation, and I would say you would miss out if you don't play Bloodborne at all. But I think you should play that first. Before
You sold me.
Sekiro.
I'm checking out
Yeah,
Bloodborne
I'll check out
next.
Bloodborne.
Yep.
It's a challenging game, so getting From Software game, but it's a good story, and it's told in that From Software way, where it's not spoon fed to you. It's the same thing as like reading item descriptions and pay attention to dialogue, making dialogue choices, and everything like that. So definitely check out Bloodborne. You won't regret it. And I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. It's when you go in there blind, but I would recommend checking that out first, for sure. So, and I think it's not as long of a game as Sekiro, so maybe we'll beat that first and then maybe get into Sekiro, but Sekiro is more aggressive. So you think about like Dark Souls is very methodic and slower, so if you want to put them in like levels in terms of like how fast and how aggressive you have to be, Dark Souls up to 3, because 3 is probably the most aggressive out of the trilogy. Then Bloodborne will be the next step, and then Sekiro will be the final step.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely check out Bloodborne for sure.
Alright, good advice. Well, thank you for all that intro. I
That
think
was
we know
awesome.
you a lot better now. So, and our watchers know
It's
you
almost
a
like
lot
you didn't
better.
know me at all from their time living together.
I know, right?
growing
Yeah.
up.
How about
Like,
that?
wow, how amazing. So let's jump into some gaming news. So we've got a few stories that happened this week we want to talk about. I'll start out with Apex Legends, Battle Royale game, very popular. They're following in PUBG's footsteps and they're going mobile. So they're creating a mobile app where you can play Apex Legends on.
I didn't even hear about this news.
Yeah, it was
I'm a
on.
little behind.
I saw it on the Game Informer website, so
Wow,
I think
that
it's-
surprises me so soon.
yeah. I mean, it's not surprising that they are going this route. I don't think, but because a lot of people, everybody has a smartphone basically, and a lot of people play games on their smartphones, whether we like it or not. I think that a lot of people spend their money playing mobile games too. So, what do you think about it?
Kind of surprises me actually, because I thought like the graphics on that game are a little bit higher quality than
So
like,
yeah,
the other
it'd
two
be
battle royales.
interesting to see if the graphics are toned down on mobile or not.
Yeah, because I didn't even know if like the phones would be capable of running that like that smoothly at least, because that's a very smooth game and the graphics, like I said, are a lot higher quality. So
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls Blades I think looks pretty good. So if it's like that kind of quality, I think.
yeah, I mean, I personally don't play like any mobile games, but
Yeah,
I don't know how they really run on the phones, but.
yeah. And Brett, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think they're just really trying to follow in the footsteps of Fortnite and PUBG. How both of those games are on mobile phones.
Okay,
And,
yeah, Fortnite.
I saw a study where I can't say the source, but where more than ever adults are playing video games, and most on their smartphones. So that's still like a market that still yet to be, I guess, quote unquote, tapped in terms of how many people play video games on their phones. Especially a lot of working adults and adults who might have kids.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was looking up just today the best-selling games of all time, and Tetris is way up there with almost like 500 million. Well, over 400 million of those is the mobile version of Tetris, people buying Tetris. And so, yeah, a lot of people are playing mobile games. Shawn,
I don't think the battle royale genre works on phones that well. Like it could just be me because I don't know anyone that plays them on phones.
I've never tried playing battle royale.
So
They have a lot of downloads. I don't
Well,
know,
Jerod
like,
plays. I know
play
Jerod
them.
played PUBG on his phone,
Oh, really?
and he was like really into it. But I mean, I don't know really anybody that plays on their phones besides like Candy Crush and.
I just feel
games
like you
that.
can't be like that competitive playing on your phone. Like
yeah, the
With
controls
no
aren't there.
controllers,
Yeah, if the chance for like input lag and stuff would seem to be a lot higher. It's just what I've seen. I haven't been impressed with any kind of a shooter game on phones.
Yeah.
And even Blades, I feel like as good as it looks, it doesn't play that well on mobile.
Yeah, I've had a few moments where it lags when I'm trying to do the combat. And
So I don't think mobile's ready for like AAA quality experience games.
yeah.
But that's my 2 cents.
maybe if they got like a controller like that attached to the phone, but like
People have tried.
Yeah.
People have tried, but nothing's
Yeah.
nothing's worked.
Yeah, so that's that. We'll see how if Apex Legends is as successful or more successful than Fortnite and PUBG and that. In other news, John Wick is becoming a more popular movie series, and I saw a story where there's a John Wick game being created, and it's going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive game. They don't know if it's going to be timed exclusivity and then come to Steam later, kind of like Borderlands, or if it's just going to be completely Epic Games Store exclusive. I don't know, you guys, you've seen the John Wick series movies. We don't know a lot about the game yet.
Who's developing it?
I'd have to look that up.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I've never seen a John Wick movie. I kind of wanted to, but
first one's good. I haven't seen the second one yet. But
and the third one's coming out like soon, right?
yeah, I
I
think
think so,
May.
Okay, so this month.
But yeah, that goes back to like last week where we were talking about games are turning into movies. Now we got movies turning into games. So
That's right.
seems to be a lot
Never-ending
more.
cycle.
I've
Yeah.
heard rumors of like Zelda coming on Netflix too, but we'll see if it actually comes.
Like a
comes through.
cartoon, like or like a
Like
live
a live
action.
action.
Oh God, please no. God no.
Well,
It reminds me of that Super Mario Brothers
you
movie.
guys have seen The Witcher that they're doing on Netflix, right? With
Yes.
Yeah, with the what's his name?
Superman.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested in that.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. Yeah, yep.
I don't know. It was kind of weird. I think like
I thought it was pretty good as
I
is
don't
it, how do
know.
you pronounce his first name? Geralt.
Yeah, but you
Geralt,
like the
yeah.
character,
Geralt.
like,
Okay.
Yeah, no, and I don't know if you guys have seen the Castlevania show on Netflix, but
It's
love
pretty
that
good.
show.
I like that.
It's really,
Yeah, I really
Well,
like
that's
it.
that's
like a video
the
game adaptation.
Show.
director I've heard rumored to do the Zelda series if it actually comes, but we'll see.
But yeah, Castlevania, he's right. That was a very good series on Netflix. So yeah, that's that John Wick game. So be on the lookout for that. There is Also, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is another game. What was the news on that? That one's gonna be.
It's gonna be the successor to Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Okay.
It's coming out this October. It's coming out this year. I mean, Wildlands was it seemed cool doing that like co-op, but what I played is the missions are very repetitive. The AI that is in your squad isn't very good. They don't really do anything really. It's still like you might as well just play it solo by yourself. Like you don't even really need a squad because they don't really do anything anyways. I thought the game was kind of mediocre. I lost interest in it after a few hours. So
kind of like a looter shooter type game, kind of like Division, or
sort of like Division, like the gameplay at least, but not really, you know.
Well, it's a Ubisoft game, so it's the same, pretty much almost the same like shoot mechanics as a Ubisoft game besides Far Cry. Yeah, I'm not like.
I haven't seen the trailer for Breakpoint yet. Like I saw that they had the guy who did Punisher on Netflix. I think he's one of the actors in the game, but.
Okay.
But I haven't seen the trailer, and like you said, I kind of thought the last one was mediocre, so I'll wait and see. Maybe if the reviews are really good, I'll try it out. But
I enjoyed the Ghost Recon on the PlayStation 2. I forget what the title was for it, but I enjoyed that. But then
I think it's Advanced
Warfighter or something.
Yeah, it was something like
when
that.
Like your alpha team and beta team and stuff, like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had that game. I never really got into it, but yeah, the Ghost Recon game. A lot of the Tom Clancy games, the only one I really enjoyed was Splinter Cell, and it's been a while since they came out with a Splinter Cell game.
Siege was actually pretty fun, but
yeah, Rainbow. I didn't play.
We traded that in too soon. I think we.
No, we did. So when Rainbow Six came out, it had a lot of like buggy issues, and it got mediocre review scores. And then Ubisoft's really been able to update that game with their seasons, and the player base is super high nowadays. They brag about that at like every E3 about how big their player base is.
Yeah, it's super competitive.
So yeah, it's definitely an e-sport. So
yeah. So Shawn, do you have any experience playing any Tom Clancy games really, or Ghost Recon?
Yeah, outside of Splinter Cell, not really.
Yeah.
No, I've never been huge into shooters. In general, if I'm playing a shooter, I like it to be more of the like sci-fi fantasy kind of thing.
same thing.
Yeah, like Halos would be kind of more my jam. Like the military shooters, I've tried them, but it just never really does anything for me.
I'm with you on that one.
They
for
used
sure.
to back in the day. No one played like Endgame or End War or whatever it was back in the day. I think that was like an RTS.
I never.
Tom Clancy.
I hate RTSs. So yeah, I never really gave that a look.
Yeah, so Ghost Recon Breakpoint, if you're into those type of games, military shooter games, give that a look. Another news, I think it was today, there's a documentary about the development of God of War and how that game was created. I got released.
Yeah. Sony has done a lot of like these different documentaries of their developing process. I think there is a documentary on The Last of Us. I believe there might be one about Uncharted 4. And then I think there's documentaries on like God of War 2, 3, and Ascension. So these are they've done all these documentaries, so it's nothing new. But with all the hype for God of War and how many awards that game won and how critically acclaimed it was, it's a documentary that I just really want to see, just to see like, because you hear about in the news all the time about, we talked about this on our show, about the crunch and, people are getting, complaining about working so many hours of overtime and, how stressful it is to work in the video game industry when you're trying to meet certain deadlines that are put on you by the publishers. So I'm interested to see that. I think Eric, you really Corey Barlog too, right? Because you've seen some of like his interviews and stuff, and he seems like a cool cat. Like
I think he's the only developer I actually follow on Twitter, but yeah, he's a pretty entertaining guy, and I started watching the thing today. I've only gotten like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, so
it starts like way back at the beginning of their.
Yeah, it starts in 2013, and they just go watch it. If you haven't played God of War, don't watch it. Everything I've heard is
that's what I was
it's
gonna
very
say.
spoilery. There are
I'm not gonna
spoilers.
watch it. Okay.
So if you have not played God of War, do not watch it. But if you have, you've seen the whole game, then go ahead and watch it. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
I'm about in the same boat. I've watched maybe 10, 15 minutes, and that's been it. But I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna grab some bring a little blankie and some hot cocoa and sit down and watch it.
So you played through God of War. And
I did. And well, here's the thing that's weird to me, especially with regarding to this, is it seems like ever since God of War and Red Dead came out, and they were like the two big games last year that everybody was talking about. These are the games of the year. People were debating which one's better.
Yeah.
Ever since then, all the media and buzz for God of War has just continued being positive. And they haven't released a single thing. There's no expansions. There's no DLC. It's just, hey, here's this great single-player game. And people just keep hyping it. Red Dead, on the other hand, came out with this huge online mode. And everybody keeps bashing it.
Right.
Like, nobody's excited about the online mode that I can see. Like, people complain, the stuff's too repetitive. There's not enough content. There's all these reports coming out about the working conditions at Rockstar. And, it's fascinating to me that the trajectory of those two games has just kind of gone in complete opposite directions.
And see why God of War won ultimately the Game of the Year award.
Yeah,
Video Game Awards, and so that's starting to come.
Yeah, but I think Red Dead is the more ambitious game. Like, there's way more stuff in that, and they're trying to do. But I almost wonder if they tried to do too much. Like adding with everything they added in all the online stuff and like all like the weird little intricacies that are in that game, that there's so many things you could even miss. Like, it seems like they shot too high, and now they're kind of.
That's a good point.
Certainly, the online I think seemed like it was rushed out because there was.
Well, you know why they're it's still in beta. The online is considered beta still, and I mean, if you ever heard the reports about how well GTA 5 is doing with their online, it's easy money for them. So obviously they're gonna bank on the online of Red Dead to really bring in some cash. They only pump out games now every 7 years, it seems like. So I know they're working on GTA 6, but I agree. God of War immediately when it came out, no DLC, no multiplayer, no anything crazy. Like, here's a game, you pay $60, that's it, you get the full experience. And I think just the way that, and plus Santa Monica isn't as big of a studio as like Rockstar is. Rockstar is a huge team with a bunch of different like sub teams spread around. And I know they were all concentrating on, Red Dead Redemption 2. So it's just amazing how well Santa Monica was able to reinvent Kratos as a character from all the previous God of War games to what he is now, which is a huge risk that Cory Barlog and his team took upon to make Kratos older and to give him a son and be in a different world that's not the Greek world, it's the Nordic world and whatever. So it's definitely a testament to how well Santa Monica did in reinventing that series and kind of rebooting it.
And credit to Sony too for hyping up the game. They have done a great job of
their marketing's been top notch.
Yeah, continuing to market the game hey, this was the best game of last year. Check it out. That's been the continuous message from Sony.
And whenever God of War 2 gets announced, they're gonna be throwing marketing of how well God of War 1 did. And really ride the coattails of that game in. People are going crazy for it. People that have all played God of War, the new one, are I would say 95% of people that play the first one are gonna want to play the sequel. You know what I'm saying? Because the left off on
it be a big way that they'll sell PS5s. Because I'm assuming that game would probably be on PlayStation 5.
It will be. It will be.
Yeah, I would probably put God of War as my favorite PlayStation game of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I still have to play it. I'm the only one here that
get
hasn't
on that,
played
Scott.
it.
Come on.
Well, I keep telling him, I'm like, that should be the first game you play on your PlayStation.
Well, when Scott got his PlayStation, Eric and I went over and I was giving Scott some games to borrow. So Eric wanted to throw on God of War, and Scott insisted playing on the normal mode. And I Scott, play on easy, get used to the controls, and then maybe jump it up. But he refused, and then the first boss was just breaking him. And then he's like, I guess I'll just play, what game did you play after that?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, let's play Spider-Man. Focus on Spider-Man.
Just working your way up to the good ones.
That's right. Yep, so that was that on the documentary God of War. Check it out. So another news story that you were telling us about is Supermassive Games, the developer that made Until Dawn.
Yes.
So they're making another game.
Yeah. I saw some stuff that's come out recently. I think in Game Informer's new edition they have a feature about it. I think it's called Man of Medan. And it looked really interesting just from the standpoint of it's got a real choice-driven system to it. So they're trying to move to more of an anthology series where they have shorter contained stories. And this first one is supposed to be something where it's set on a ship. It seemed kind of vague, but it's like a ghost ship that you're exploring. And you have choices you can make along the way that seem to have a more significant impact on the story. Like I really liked in Until Dawn, it had like a whole flow chart that you can see throughout the game of like, oh, here's how your choices are affecting things. But it kind of did the thing that Telltale Games does this too, where it seemed like your choices didn't really matter that much in the end. Like stuff kind of winds up the same, but the dialogue was very different. I'm hoping this is leading toward a path where there's actual significant choices that lead to different endings. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that game, but we'll see what happens with it. We're still pretty light on details.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool because I really liked Telltale's The Walking Dead. The first season of that was an amazing game, and that was more along that straight path. But yeah, I've always been looking for a game that has that amazing like choice where like multiple endings, multiple everything. So yeah, that will be cool if that game does that well, I think. And then another news, Nintendo. So this is on Eric's front. Nintendo has announced their Nintendo Direct, their video series will be airing June 11th, which is around the time that E3 is going on as well.
What's the date for E3 this year? Is it still like the 18th?
June 9th to June 11th is where the press conferences. And the actual E3 like show floor is going to be the rest of the week.
Okay, so it's right in there with E3 the usual. What is that?
Second week of June. Nintendo's going to be Tuesday. Nintendo's going to be the usual noon Tuesday. Okay. And then Microsoft is going to be on Sunday. And then I'm not sure if EA is doing it on... did they do it on Sunday last year? Or was it Saturday? I don't know, but they'll be doing it that week to their EA Play or whatever.
But yeah, I expect that to be a big direct, obviously. I think we'll probably get an Animal Crossing release date, if not before then.
That's one of your draft picks, right? Fantasy.
Maybe a Luigi's Mansion release date.
Yeah, all those Nintendo picks that you picked, you'll probably get.
They'll be focusing a lot on Fire Emblem because that's going to be coming out in July, so. But I'm hoping to see like a Pikmin still.
That would be cool.
I haven't seen one yet
about that.
And then I'm sure we'll see more Pokemon too. So.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that when we do our E3 predictions later on. But we just wanted to throw that out there that Nintendo's show will be going on June 11th. But Sony, which is more Brett's expertise, they did a video series just yesterday. Well, it's Friday today, so they did it Thursday. We don't know when people will be watching this video.
Yeah, second episode of the
Sony State of Play. So we had a new one of that. It was about 10 minutes long. We get to see trailers for a few different games. So I'll start out with a game that Jerod drafted in our fantasy video games draft. So he's expecting this to do well. Medieval. It's like a remake. I guess this was a game that came out
on the PlayStation 1.
PlayStation.
I never played it, but I know Jerod played it when he was younger. I think a lot of people that grew up with PlayStations have played this game. So it's coming out October 25th, and it's a full-blown remake. So not even like a remaster, like a full-on remake from the ground up. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't really played Medieval. Don't know anything really about it besides the main characters, like a skeleton who dies in the beginning of the game, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks kind of quirky, kind of like a Double Fine type of game or something.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of gameplay shifts too. Like it's not just like a hack and slash or anything like that. Like there's like weird things that come up. Like I think there's like a rap battle at one point.
Oh, really?
It's one of those weird like early PlayStation games that just kind of does its own thing.
Okay. Scott, what are you doing over there?
Nothing. Okay. So Medieval, Eric,
I haven't seen
anything about that?
I think the game sucks. Jerod, we're coming for you.
Oh, the second call out!
Man.
I'm texting him right now. You call him out again.
Oh. That's funny.
That is hilarious. Jerod's gonna be so upset. But he won't say anything. Like, oh, that's funny.
We had an expansion for Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I know, Brett, you played a ton of Monster Hunter World.
finished the game.
With Jerod. Yep. So are you going to be checking out the expansion of that?
I did draft Monster Hunter World Iceborne in our fantasy league.
Oh.
So I did draft it. It's coming out September 6th.
Oh, it's draftable? I didn't know.
Yeah. So I drafted it because I knew it was going to be a paid expansion.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets reviewed kind of like MLB The Show. It was like one review and then it gets like a high S score and then but yeah, it's it seems like it takes place right after the end of the game, and it's in a I guess I don't know if it's like kind of like in winter of like that world or it's like a different part of the world.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but it seems like they're getting a bunch of new monsters and higher ranks you can get, and maybe even some new weapons. I saw a weapon where you can it's kind of like a grappling hook, so to speak. I don't know if that's in the original Monster Hunter World. I played with the long sword.
The trailers, the grappling hook.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's like a new thing or not.
Yeah, maybe you actually use it now. I don't know,
but no, that's an excellent game. I think it's Capcom's best-selling game of all time.
Yeah, it was.
So I saw that in the news this week. So yeah, it looks cool. It's more Monster Hunter World for people that are kind of tired of grinding the end game of the original, Monster Hunter World. So I think it's gonna be $40. I think it's gonna be $40. So, but you should really play the Monster Hunter World like the full game before you like step into that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I actually just downloaded it. I know Eric, you did too. Just downloaded for Xbox Game Pass. Monster Hunter World's available on that, so we downloaded that and.
Yeah, I want to get back into it. I've played like through what was it like? Well,
you played through like 7 stars.
7 stars.
Yeah, so you were able to unlock.
My usual, I almost got to the end of the game and didn't finish it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to go back and play on Xbox. Hopefully.
Nergigante and some of the names are always crack me up with like DeMarch. He always say like the N word. I feel like I'm like, dude, come on, like.
I remember that.
He's
not associated with
this.
Yeah,
he's black, so it's cool.
I'm not affiliated with
Shawn is not affiliated with taking names. We have to hold him here.
I'm just
as prisoner. We forced him to come in here. All the thoughts of what I just said are my own thoughts, not on the behalf of Taking Games. Kind of like a disclaimer, Scott.
That's right.
There's a disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
All the thoughts I say is my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Not affiliated with any of these 3 guys.
So Shawn, do you have any interest in getting Monster Hunter World at any time?
I'm torn on it. I tried out, I do have a 3DS as well, and I tried out the 3DS Monster Hunter game and absolutely hated it. Like, it was so tedious, and it was all the things about hunting in Red Dead that I hate. It's like, you have to, like, plat everything out to the most minute detail, and everything takes a really long time. Is World less of that? Like, is it...
It's
well,
really...
I can't compare it to 3DS, but there's like a lot of, preparing to go and take down.
Yeah, you gotta craft your own potions, and you can buy them too, but you craft your own armor just like any other Monster Hunter World game.
Yeah. The game didn't really click for me either until like probably 2 hours in, and I was pretty much hooked after that. But
yeah, I usually hate crafting. It's one of my worst, least favorite things.
Yeah, you would not be. That would not be. I don't think
this is my style.
So you're not gonna be.
But there's a little part of me that wants to try it. Be like, maybe this time I'll like it.
I know it's been on sale, so I think it's like $20. So if you ever want to check it out.
Speaking of sales,
well, we're not done with the state of play yet. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Well, there's one big game still coming.
This guy's too busy texting.
sorry.
Come on, Scott.
Okay.
Focus.
So next game that was in the state of play that I wanted to go over, Predator Hunting Grounds. So is that based on like the movie Predator? Like
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so
if Eric or Shawn, you guys have opinions about that, I'll get some.
I saw the trailer as I was like going to sleep last night, but I just saw they were like walking and showing like 4 different, I guess, hunters or whatever, and then they had the Predator in the background, like cloaked and.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. There was nothing on the trailer. So
yeah, so it's made by the same developers as they created Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And the studio is called Elphonic. And with Friday the 13th, which they got the license from whoever owns the Jason rights, that was a crowdfunded Kickstarter game. This game's going to be fully backed by, well, I should say fully backed, but it'll be backed by Sony. This should be a Sony second-party exclusive, so it should only be coming to the PlayStation 4. And kind of the same idea. You're for kind of like the whole like Evolve asymmetrical game.
Yeah,
do you play
Evolve or
do you play
Dead by
Evolve
Daylight?
or
No,
Evolve?
no, I played Left 4 Dead back in the day, which
Okay.
I know was the same developers did that, but yeah, never tried out Evolve.
Yeah, so it seems like these 4 hunters against the Predator. I'm not sure if it's gonna be just like Jason, where you're just trying to escape, or is there different like side quests or different quests you have to accomplish, kind of just like in Evolve, where you have your 4 hunters and you're trying to get something completed, and then
Yeah, it seems like it's probably going to be something similar to
yeah.
like Dead by Daylight, Evolve, Friday the 13th. So. Same
yeah, Dead by Daylight was a good comparison too. Yeah, so that game's coming out supposedly next year, so who knows? But I know they stopped working on Friday the 13th because of licensing issues, and they couldn't. I guess in the court case, they can't like add any like new stuff for the game in terms of like DLC, but they can still do like updates to the game in terms of like fixing bugs. But it seems like that they just kind of like moved on. They moved on from it, and started working on this game. It seems like, and a lot of people were saying on Reddit that like they're worried that's gonna be very buggy at launch, like on Friday the 13th was, until they got like dedicated servers, and there's still like a bunch of glitches in it. Damn, Rocky! He's like laying by me, Rocky. He's like pushing me off the chair.
Usual.
Yeah, he's right here. But I think with Sony, even though they're not the best at like networking, not like how like Microsoft is with their networks, but I feel like with Sony they'll have like a bunch of cash coming in, and be able to find better talent to really help them make it a successful launch instead of the buggy mess that Friday the 13th was.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I want to find out more. I like Dead by Daylight. I like Friday the 13th. I like Evolve.
Do you like
So-
Predator?
I never really watched the movies,
Me either.
so I really have no like. But again, I didn't watch any of the Friday the 13th movies
It
either.
has the best mid-air arm wrestling scene in history.
Really?
Really good. Check it out.
All right, I'll have to YouTube that then.
Okay. There's also a game where you're like a sugar glider called Away Survival Series, and you're basically just in the wild, like a natural, like a squirrel thing that's going around trying to survive.
What, this was in the thing or something?
Yeah, this was in the Sony State of Play. This game.
They showed a lot of gameplay for this. Nothing for Predator, but a lot of the sugar
Yeah.
glider games.
Yeah, a lot of sugar
I haven't
gliders.
seen like a trailer for this or anything.
That was a very
Sounds
strange
like
looking game.
Yeah, you're like this like what's it, like a squirrel or like a flying
Yeah.
squirrel or like a badger
Yeah,
thing,
basically.
and you're like playing it as a point of it's not point of view, but it's third person, or I guess third squirrel, I guess. To be funny, but that wasn't funny at all. I'm gonna kill myself. But yeah, it seems like you face like a big ass like spider at the end, and like these different animals you kind of can like interact with, like in that whole like animal ecosystem wherever you're currently at, so you can fly and shit. It's not. I guess he's Scott like in that game for some reason. Yeah, being like a Scott game.
Like, whoa, yay!
Whoa! Full report on the sugar glider
Oh
game.
boy!
Yeah, he's
That'll be your game stream.
yeah, Scott's streaming that
No,
Is that gonna be your number one pick for the fantasy?
Oh,
league?
yeah, next year,
Yeah.
No, hopefully we pick the Cyberpunk 2077 next year.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
Look, it's coming out.
I
this
better
year,
get
guys.
some
Yeah.
first pick. Yeah. But I'm still expecting a release
Well, did you see
date
what?
on-
Actually, yeah. Speaking of that, did you see what they tweeted, Scott?
I did. I retweeted it too.
Oh, nice.
I forget exactly what it was,
Soon
but
or
it was
something.
something like coming soon, and so I think they're just teasing
Soon,
the
very soon, I think is what it
because
was.
they said they're gonna have a big E3 presence. So,
Which just means gameplay.
and I think they just want to get attention because they released their merchandise store opened up in the United States, so they want people to go check that out. So they were putting some candy out there for people to.
But like Scott. Says it like
Excited.
buy like a fucking like shirt and shit. Like,
Ooh.
and it says Cyberpunk 2077 coming out this
2019.
year.
Yeah.
2019. Like, Scott custom makes his own shirt. Like it's coming out this year. And then the back it says hashtag the grant or something stupid. Like Scott believes in his grant
It's
so bad.
Yep. Okay, and then the last big game that they talked about in the State of Play is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they showed some decent amount of stuff on that. I guess it's going to be an episodic series where they're going to be releasing a remake of Final Fantasy VII. I forget what the original Final Fantasy VII, what system was that? Was that Super Nintendo or was that?
That was a PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it was PS1.
Oh,
PS1.
so that was back when they were Sony.
Yeah, because all the Final Fantasy games came to PlayStation besides the early ones.
Okay.
Yeah, that time, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
saw those games already getting backlash because they're not. It looks like it's not going to be turn-based combat.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's just like how Final Fantasy 15 was, where it's going to be more open and, you know.
which isn't what I want. I'd rather have a turn-based game. And they don't have enough turn-based games nowadays. I mean, Persona, but that's about it console-wise.
I thought it looked stunning though.
Oh,
Like
it's
the
good.
graphics on it were. I was very impressed with that. I was just very disappointed with the episodic thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's taken them this long to
Well,
make just release the
Now-
thing.
The
Has
whole
that been,
thing, yeah.
I know they mentioned it being episodic, but have they like kind of like? Cause I thought they were kind of like backtracking from that.
Oh no, they confirmed.
Did they confirm
They
it?
confirmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an interview I saw today where they confirmed that.
Like in
it's
the
still-
past like 24
Yeah.
hours? Really? That sucks.
Yeah.
I hate
It's
that.
It sounded like it's gonna be 3 parts. Like I think the game itself is kind of broken into 3 stages. Because it was on 3 discs, I think, originally. So it's
Oh,
gonna be. I think each section's probably gonna relate to the
God,
disc,
that's
but it's just just release the game, please.
I mean, like I said in the group text between us 3, you know, I mentioned that this was, I think Square Enix just gave a lot of money to Sony and said, hey, get this game out there again on your state of play so that we can talk more about it. People can go watch our Square Enix E3 conference. I think it was kind of more like a hype video just for their E3 conference. And we'll, because it said that in the trailer, more to come in June or something, which we're assuming it's going to be for E3. And
But Sony's not gonna be at E3.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so I'm assuming we'll
But I
see
think
a
it's
state
also
of play
well,
or-
I mean,
also-
also assumes they're going to be 83.
But also, they might have a
conference.
video. Yeah, I mean, they said, you know, if you want to be like politically correct, they said they won't be at E3.
Yeah, they might
Yeah.
still do
Doesn't
the
mean
same
they
way.
won't do anything around that time. But, you know, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be maybe a time exclusive. I don't see why it wouldn't come to Xbox with, you know, the other Final Fantasy games. So I think it's going to be more like a time exclusive with PlayStation. And then eventually it'll come to Xbox. So,
I think it's interesting. I might check it out eventually. Probably on like the Super Nintendo emulator, some of the early Final Fantasy games that were kind of cool.
well, Final Fantasy VII is on the PS4 too, but it's just a
There's a
port.
remake. Yeah, I
Oh,
bought
okay.
on Steam. There's a remake of 7, which is pretty good. Like it's fun to
Okay.
play through. But it's just the remake looks like so much bigger and better. I mean, it looks like that's going to be the
Yeah,
definitive
they-
way to play it. Going
Yeah,
forward.
Cloud looks really
For
good.
sure,
Yeah.
Okay. So that was it for the state of play. Nothing on the big games that we expect from Sony, like Last of Us Part 2 or,
Well, they
or
all-
Death Stranding or anything like that.
And also, like, I think people got really overhyped for the first state of play,
Mhm.
and then this one they made a blog post saying, "Hey, it's coming out May 9th, but it's gonna be about 10 minutes. We're gonna do an in-depth review." Well, it wasn't really that in-depth, but of Medieval, and then
Show a new game.
and it showed a new game.
Did,
So-
did they announce an expansion for Anthem?
No.
Oh no! Oh
No.
no! Why not? What happened?
Yeah. That
Oh,
game
man,
did
Shawn
not do
doing
well. That game did not do well. It was bad.
That was Scott's favorite game.
Unfortunately.
Weird.
No, it
yeah.
was not. I just wanted it to do well.
But yeah, I mean, Sony's, I think they came out and just kind of like tempered their expectations. People that got overhyped for this one just are idiots. Like, they told you exactly what's going to be shown. And, you know,
Yeah.
but it's cool they did like a question mark at the end. And you didn't know what it was. Kind of like one more thing that Nintendo does really good with their
Yeah.
directs.
Mhm.
Like, you know, what's
Yeah,
his
like,
name?
who's
He's like the
this
main
last-
like Nintendo guy that does like the...
Ah.
Come on, Nintendo experts! You don't know this?
Nintendo expert.
No, there's so many
But...
of those.
You know, they always say like, "Ooh, we don't condone that." Again, that's Eric's words. We don't use that language here. But they kind of did like a little tease at the end, and then it was Final Fantasy VII. So I thought it was better than the first one, in my opinion. It was more catered towards PlayStation. Again, stuff that maybe we're more into because Eric and I only have VR, and VR was like the big focus of the last state of play that they did back in March. So.
Yeah, I had a VR question actually.
What's
Do you have PlayStation VR or do you have one of the?
PlayStation VR.
Okay, because I saw there's a new VR game that just came out. It's like a Darth Vader experience, but I think it's only on Oculus.
Oh, okay.
But it looked really cool.
Yeah. I have
Sounds cool.
I have a decent sized library of VR games. You know, Gran Turismo, Accounting Plus, Tetris Effect, which I did a worth of video on. Go check that out. Skyrim, Farpoint, Titanic VR, which is actually pretty cool. If you like the Titanic history and the ship. So, did I say Gran Turismo?
I think so.
Yeah, I got Dirt too.
Okay. Yeah, you have Dirt Rally or whatever, and then Resident Evil 7 too. So, which is a game I will not play in VR. That game scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, you guys let me play that one.
That's fun watching Scott play, but
That's fun one to watch first.
yeah, it's really one. Yeah, I'll watch somebody play Resident Evil 7 VR, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that was it for the Sony State of Plays. Another Sony news, the Sony PlayStation Plus sale is going on. So if you're a PlayStation Plus member, there's some deals you can look at.
Well, it's a flash sale, isn't it?
Flash sale.
It's a flash sale,
And you
yeah.
said,
The main sale thing on there was Devil May Cry.
Okay.
There's multiple shit, obviously, but that was the big one.
It's
Though.
like $40.
$40.
Yeah, $40.
Under 40,
Okay.
I said. So.
Yeah, $39.99.
Yeah, so if you liked my streaming of Devil May Cry 5 and you want to check that game out, you can get on there and get that sale.
You know, I like this episode because there was no Xbox news. It made me happy.
Yeah, we really didn't
Is
have
there ever any?
too much.
Oh! Sean's coming every other week.
I mean, I must have missed the Xbox
He
Direct.
fits this table. He fits this. I like it.
That's funny. So yeah, I think that's all the news we had for this week. Yeah, I thought that was a good episode. So thank you, Shawn, for
Yeah, thanks, Sean, for
Oh,
coming
on.
on.
thank you for having me.
good
Yeah,
perspective.
Yeah, no, you seem like you know what you're talking about, which is good.
I'm good at faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're always on.
Rocky
whenever you're
likes you too,
available.
so-
you come on. So yeah, Rocky enjoys you, so
Mhm.
he's our mascot.
And before we go, I think I have to say thank you to all the mothers out there. It's gonna be Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
So yeah,
She won't even
just
watch
gotta
it.
get that over with. In case
Eric,
there
you want
are
anything to
any
your mother on,
mothers watching. So
See you Sunday.
Oh!
there you go. See you Sunday, Mom.
Awkward.
Eric. So with that,
She ain't like that, bro.
Oh, she won't like that.
what you doing, honey?
I'll show it. I'll show it to her.
Rocky. So thank you. Please subscribe to Take Game Games. Like our videos.
Again, Shawn did a call out to Jerod. He's
Awesome.
saying
Yes.
this will be our most watched
If you're
video.
watching
Yeah,
this video,
so this
close
is-
out and keep like reloading it to get the views up. We're gonna be Jerod.
That's what Eric did for his Ori the Blind Forest stream, and Jared did that too. That's why
Oh
we
yeah,
did
because
that.
I saw that Ori has like over 100 views. now.
Really?
Yes.
Let's get it up 200. I want
And we should
200
be-
plus on this.
And we should be seeing a stream of Rage 2 next week because Eric says they're.
Yeah, we
That's
need-
right. Rage 2's coming.
Oh yeah, that's
I forgot
right.
about
Rage
that.
2 Tuesday night. Be there.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna be competing.
Oh,
with
it
us.
is
I
Tuesday.
won't do my stream then, so that you can do yours.
There we go. But yeah, let's see if someone can compete with my streaming numbers here. Like he's
Yeah.
trying to compete with Jared's numbers. How do you rival here?
I'll let's see Shawn and Jared battle it out for the official fourth chair. That'd be awesome.
All right.
But
Well, with that, we'll call it the end of this episode, and we will see everybody next weekend.
see you guys next week.
Bye.